I'm a long way from Earth. Like a long, long, long way. It's like I've been told of this place of Earth, it's given a different name, but I can't relay that. But in order to get to Earth in whatever craft I'm in, it's a long journey across vast expanses of space and time.
And do you feel this has a direct correlation to your current life? You had to travel here?
Yeah.
And do you know how that works? So, it's a long way if you're in a physical body of some sort, and you've got to use technology to get here. Is that kind of how it took place?
Well, I feel like I'm in a different kind of... I'm in a craft of some sort, and I'm not human. If that yeah.
So yeah, let's focus on what you are then, in that moment. See if you can see your body.
So I can see 360 degrees, but I'm aware that I think I have two eyes, but I'm aware that I can, in my mind, see all around me.
So you're not seeing out your eyes so much when you do that? With 360?
Yeah. So I can use my physical eyes to focus on things close at hand, like if I'm preparing a meal or interaction with a computer or whatever, then I use my physical eyes, but otherwise my mental eyes can see everything in a sphere. So I can see around on the horizontal plane 360, but I can also see vertically as if it was like a sphere, and I can see everything in it.
Everything in it?
Yeah.
How do you mean?
If there's an asteroid, if there's a person, if there's within the craft I can see all the way around me, but also beyond the craft I can see beyond that.
Does it mean you can kind of be outside of yourself and look back at yourself?
No, it's like I'm centered within, because I can't see. I can sort of see some kind of scaly thing on my hands, but don't feel like a lizard. Okay. And I can't really tell how many fingers I have.
What about when you look down at, below your feet or legs? What do you look like?
Yeah, I'm not getting much at all. I'm just seeing parts of the ship.
So see if you can see your reflection in something. See if there's a surface in that ship that reflects.
I'm feeling like I'm 3 feet wide. I'm also feeling like I'm quite tall, maybe 9 feet. We communicate telepathically and very quickly, and that there's no, like, distance isn't a problem. It's like I could telepathically communicate with you from one side of the universe to the other, and you'd get the message instantly. It's not like it's got to travel, across space and time and take X number of years to get to you. It's like it's done instantaneously, regardless of physical distance. I get the sense of time and no time, but I can move between the two.
And do you mean time in relation to the universal time?
To get to Earth, like, I know I have to travel a long time across space and time to get to the Earth, but also where I'm at, I don't need to worry about that time. There isn't a time, or time moves more slowly, or
Earth time doesn't really affect you.
Yeah. So to visit Earth, I have to move into this time, Earth time plane.
So for example, if you spent 100 years on Earth and came back, how much time would pass for you?
Well, just...
In your personal world, does that be?
I don't get a sense of time, so I can't say a blink of an eye because that's not right. It's not. But I'm not getting a sense of fifth dimension or third dimension.
Even though you're kind of interacting in the third.
I'm interacting with the third, but whether it's 3A and 3B or whether it's a fourth dimension and a third dimension or something. So I'm aware to get to Earth I have to travel through space and time, and it's going to take, it's a long journey.
Do you personally have to go through that time period though?
I think to get here, yes, but where I'm living or where I am now in this spaceship thing, it's like I voluntarily or can go down into that third dimensional Earth time.
And do you know if that's some kind of form of technology or is it just beyond technology?
It feels like technology of some sort, because I can punch it in. But then I'm aware that there's constraints with that, like there's this sense of everything takes a long time and I've got to I'm more dense in my form. So in this higher plane I do have a form, I do have some kind of, I suppose a crab would be one way of describing it.
But do you stand upright?
Yes, I'm bipedal. I don't know whether they have 2 arms or 4 arms. That much I can't sense.
You're not picking up on anything, anyone else there that you can look at? Are you alone?
No.
How many others are on the craft?
No, it's, okay, so I'm flying sometimes and navigating at others. I'm a navigator of some sort. And there's someone else who also flies. And again I can just see from their fingertips to their elbow, like I can see it me. And it's like the same kind of joints as a crab or as a lobster. That exoskeleton type thing.
Does it look kind of like a suit or is it more like a skin? You mentioned skin.
It's a hard one.
Is it possible it's some kind of a suit?
I actually think it is my skin or my form.
So it's your natural. Yeah.
I don't think I'm wearing armour. That's what I'm thinking. Because do I put this on? Oh, they'll wear it. And I don't get that sense. And the same with the pilot or the captain. He or she.
And what does the face look like?
Certainly very alien. Almost like a prime minister sort of thing. And yeah, very rough. Okay. Very rough. But huge, big, very big.
And you said before you're 3 feet across, so it's quite a large body.
But we're non-combative. We're not a violent race. So we're big and we're strong, very strong, like in Earth terms.
Do you get an image of where your home is?
No, not.
Is it planet-based or do you live in elsewhere?
Okay. It's kind of planets-based. We can move freely between. There is one like big planet, but then there's all sorts of neighbouring planets that you can easily access. Very long life expectancy, like in Earth terms, it's tens of thousands of years.
Okay.
Like you don't actually die as such.
These other planets, are they all your kind of people, or are there other beings on them?
Mixture, but mostly this sort of exoskeleton type praymantis-y thing.
Yeah. Would you say it's closer to a crab or praying mantis?
The forearm's definitely more crab-like.
What about the torso?
That's what I can't really get a fix on.
Yeah, so you're just seeing the head
just
and
see
the arms and
and the arms, and then there's a little bit about the legs. The legs are also looking more crab-like.
So a bit like the arms.
Kind of, what's his name? General Grievous in Star Wars.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, that kind of even, but biological.
You're not sure how many arms you've got.
Yeah, but biological.
Yeah.
And big, like, because he's a machine. But
yeah. Okay, so you mentioned about death. Do you feel, or can you sense into how death takes place for you when you do, get past 10,000 or 20,000 years?
I think there's the odd death by accident, like spaceship blows up or hit by an asteroid or something like that. But basically, you choose to go. That's what I'm being told. Like you don't actually have ill health or anything like that. It's just like.
What's a reason why you would choose to go?
It's like you might decide to have another lifetime somewhere else or another experience. It's a boredom, I suppose.
Mm.
I also don't get it. I don't get a sense like you grow. It's like you.
Physically, or
you're kind of born fully formed.
Mm. So you're always the same thing, really, the same.
Yeah.
Physical side.
Like there's equivalent of you go to school and that type of thing, but it's not like you go from small to big.
So you still got to start from scratch in terms of knowledge?
Yeah. Yeah.
And do you get a sense of maturity level growing as you get older?
There's something about the exoskeleton changing colour as you hit there's no sexual reproduction. So with you, I think you form in some kind of lab, but then if you have bright colours, you're still youthful. And as you get older, the colours become more pastel, if you like.
Mm. Do you have elderly ones that you consider older?
Yeah, but they're not restrained by their age.
So you'd say that even though you can get quite old, you don't get slower, or
no,
health doesn't deteriorate?
Yeah, health doesn't deteriorate. It's just.
So you'd say it's knowledge.
You kind of have this. Yeah, you're born sort of fully, from what I can see, fully formed, but the colours are quite bright on your scales and things. Then you hit a sort of certain level and you plateau there, and that's where you stay right until you decide to leave or meet.
What age would you say, so if you did, if on average people lived on 10,000 years, what age would that plateau start on average?
About 500 years.
So it's quite a long time where you're kind of not changing so much.
Yeah.
But you can still learn.
Yeah, you're still learning and studying, but there's this kind of, those first 500 years, you kind of, this is our culture and protocols. Okay, so there's something to do with the on a rank. So on the lower part of this part of the arm, if you like, there's a modification or a colouring or something that denotes what family you're from, or what, yeah. So they're all similar looking, but this part of the forearm is different. So Smiths have green and Joneses have blue or something.
Okay.
And then those families are so they kind of all come out the same laboratory, whatever it is. Some families have better different tasks than others.
So you get specialise in certain things.
Yeah, so some might be good at building spaceships, for example. My one, whatever it is like an orange stripe down here. Are the kind of with the explorers and the navigators and the we move from galaxy to galaxy.
So you do go far away from home?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what are some of the reasons why you go and explore?
It's finding out what else is out there.
Curiosity?
Yeah, and research, but also looking for potential threats to our civilization.
Are there, specialty ones that just focus on the threats? Or
there's a soldier kind of part that's, okay. But they're on the outer, so where these different planets are. Something is not.
What is it?
It's not oxygen environment.
You don't require it?
It's a thin atmosphere, but I'm not sure. Like for us to come and live on Earth in our form, we couldn't do that.
So the oxygen environment would be like poison in a way?
It would be toxic to us. Or, yeah, it would destroy us very, very, very quickly.
Do you know what you'd require to survive on a planet? What are the conditions?
We'd have to come in a different form.
For Earth, but what about your planet? Do you know what the atmosphere is?
This is what I'm trying to work out. It seems to be very, very thin. But whether it's nitrogen or...
And do you know if you breathe, whatever it is in?
Yeah, I guess it's do you have lungs?
So you still need to breathe, but you need specific conditions for it, yeah.
But they're also quite vast, so like I could live in a helium atmosphere or a nitrogen atmosphere or a methane atmosphere. It's just oxygen is one that we can't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. And do you have a family?
Oh, I do, this one, yes.
What is that composed of?
But again, it's not, like we don't have sexual reproduction or anything like that, but so I have what I consider to be my brothers and sisters. So it's this Reiki thing.
Same colour?
Yeah. But then there's also a sense of having children.
How would you have one?
It seems to be like some sort of laboratory thing, but they do take a sample or a cutting or something off this armour. Not armour, off the arm, yeah. Everything seems to happen on the left arm.
The left one, okay.
Okay, so it's like, this is your family, this is your like rank on the spaceship is around the thumb here somewhere.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's not like you've got a shoulder rank or a chest plate, but everything's on the left arm. I'm not sure what the right arm's designation is.
And is that rank like it's a marking that's put on there, or does it kind of get created inside?
It grows on you as you. So this one here, what family you're born with. But as far as like the navigational pilot thing, your skin or whatever grows it over time.
Yeah.
So if you're a good navigator pilot, it'll be quite a strong, bright colour.
So it's natural. It's not someone deciding.
No, there's no rank pinned upon you.
So in a way, it's
but showing, yeah, but showing that you have a propensity for whatever it is.
Yeah.
And a proficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just see if you can focus in on, how you came into that world, that maybe the lab, like you said. See what comes to mind when you were younger. Maybe when you first opened your eyes or first saw that 360 degrees.
It's like I'm in some kind of bubble, but big, like which is a protective thing at first.
Covering you?
Yeah, so I've got my fully formed, and then I'm in this bubble, okay, membrane around me, sort of thing. You just know stuff. That's the thing. You just know stuff. You don't.
You're not told something.
Everything's telepathic. There's none of this. You're in kind of a school of sorts, which is about movement. You're taught how to move
through telepathic.
So all communication and knowledge is already there. It's like because everything's accessible. There's no internet, basically, but it's kind of everyone...
Collective?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's nothing you've got to learn. You haven't got to learn algebra and calculus or anything like that. Or even how to speak. It's already innate. It's already there. But the form is clumsy at first. So learning how to walk or balance
it feels clumsy.
In different like different gravitational fields also changes. So like if you're walking on Earth compared to walking on the Moon, it'll be two different modes of movement. They can move in all directions. They can move sideways, forwards, backwards, spring, jump up, whatever. Can also levitate or fly for a distance.
Do you get an understanding of what creates you? What makes the decision to make you come into the world in the physical sense?
It's like the body's already there, like the form, but nothing to animate it, and then there's a decision from spirit world, whatever, into that life form.
But what creates that body?
Chemistry or machinery or something.
And is it your people that prepare it? Yeah.
It's one of these.
It comes from.
I got an orange stripe. I think there might be a blue stripe. People that do that genetic engineering stuff.
They roll, yeah.
And like they grow the Okay, right. So if I lose an arm, these guys, these guys can put it. They can grow one back for me.
How would they do that?
They, it's in the little laboratory process. It doesn't take very long.
So you'd have to go to a certain location to get it done?
Yeah, so this is this big bay central planet. So I've got this big, looks blue. So on there, all these bodies are made and created in body parts if you need them.
So it would grow back though, it wouldn't get attached?
It gets attached, so it's grown in like a petri dish or something like that, very big one, and then it's just they kind of grafted back on.
Graft, okay.
Okay.
Alright.
So it doesn't grow back like a lizard or a. It's like, hey, I need a new arm, or my pincers have worn out or something like that, and they can just replace that.
Yeah.
But it's biological.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have to consume anything for nourishment?
No, it's all in the atmosphere.
So breathing is a way of feeding yourself as well?
And also through the skin. Yeah, so we're not required to kill anything to eat.
Or grow.
We don't have to grow any food. We don't. It's all in the actual. It's all around us. But also, we don't need a great deal to sustain us.
Is it specific to those worlds, or would you be able to go to another planet in another galaxy that has similar conditions?
I could. I'd say there's some atmospheres we could survive and others we can't. But oxygen's one we can't.
So there's not a certain ingredient or element that nourishes you, it's just part of the atmosphere?
No, it's just the atmosphere, because, but it's through us, then our plates or whatever it is make the conversion into whatever we need.
Body, okay, yeah.
So there's no going to the bathroom or having a shower or anything like that is required.
So you don't get dirty?
No.
Okay. Alright, so let's look into your decision making around why you wanted to come to Earth. When did that take place and what was on your mind?
Something about ascending in consciousness. Like, why am I here? What's the meaning of life? What's the meaning of...
Was that something you were wondering as that life form?
Yeah, because like you live tens of thousands of years if you want to choose to do that. But there's no... You enjoy yourself. I mean, it's not like you're bored, but you kind of... You begin to question, well, what is life? What is existence? What is...
So would you say your people don't have a high level of spiritual knowledge in that sense? Otherwise it would be part of that collective knowledge, right?
There is some of that. Like going into the earth is a descent, definitely, in consciousness. But there's a recognition of, in order to understand this, I need to go down first. So it's like if you're playing a tuba or a euphonium, like I play, in order to get the high notes, you've got to actually learn the low notes first. So you've got to go right down below the staff to get the higher.
I understand. But as that life form, how did you come to that conclusion? Was this
there's
for you personally?
A question. So it's in the universal consciousness as well. But what's the meaning? What's the purpose? Why am I conscious? What is consciousness? So there is that there, but then there's also an awareness. In order to find that out, I have to come to somewhere like Earth.
And was this decided by yourself, or were there others involved?
Coercion going on here. I was part of the decision, but it's also like I was sent. Yeah, it's like I was...
Did you say our ascent?
I was sent, so like it was my decision, so I agreed to the...
Your choice, yeah.
Yeah, but there was a certain amount of encouragement, put it that way, or...
For you to do it, yeah.
Not quite voluntold, but...
And where did that come from, encouragement?
Just the what I would consider my family there.
With that same colour? Were they also thinking about doing it, or is this really about you?
I think they wanted me to go first and then come back. Just like they're curious, but they are nervous about leaving that familiar environment.
And do you know why you had to physically travel here rather than, come from spirit?
I'm not sure about. It's like whether I've visited Earth a few times or came around Earth and back just to check out the planet before coming in, or whether I had to be close to Earth in order to incarnate on the Earth.
Well, just ask yourself if you're still in that shape, in that form, in that body, as well as being on Earth simultaneously.
That's possible. But this other body would be in like a kind of hibernation or something.
If that was the case, where is it just now?
It's within our solar system. It would be in the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter.
And you feel it's hibernation that was required?
Yeah.
Because it couldn't be in two places at once?
Yeah, something like that. So it's like, that's very weird feeling, that actually. Answers a few questions anyway.
So that would be the reason why it needed to be closer?
To be in this third dimensional space for my soul, or whatever you want to call it, to enter this physical life form, so I could live on this planet. Because this physical body can work with oxygen.
What other reasons does it need to be close by? Do you have any kind of connection to it?
Not that I'm aware of. I haven't been till now anyway. Might be more for observing, like...
From which direction? From here or from there?
From the asteroid belt, so it's looking...
So it's still got some kind of...
There's still a connection with me and that form, but there's other people on the craft.
Okay, that makes sense, yeah.
Okay, like looking out, so they know I'm here for however long, but they're on that craft and they can be there for however long they need to be there.
And they're not hibernating?
No, they're not.
How large is that craft?
Yeah, big, very big.
So would you say more like a mothership? Or?
But it's kind of, what is it? You could hold eight of us comfortably without any... Apart from being on the bridge flying the ship, you wouldn't actually necessarily know anyone else was on board. And then there's a telepathic communication from where we are to our home planet.
Yep.
Yeah.
So are they going to remain there the entire time you're in this body?
That would be my feeling, yeah.
And how does time work for them in that craft while they wear?
They're aware of Earth time, but there's still this telepathic link with the planet, so they're not with our home planet. So while they will be more aware of being closed in by the third dimension, closed in by I have a physical form and I can feel it, they're not necessarily aging.
Do they also experience the passage of time the same as you down here?
No. No. But I relay that to them somehow.
How would they experience it, in comparison to how you experience it, but in their own way?
Through the telepathic communication that they're linking with me somehow.
So they have a full understanding of what it's like thanks to you down here?
Yeah, it's like they can see through my eyes and my ears, and I mean, there might be other of us here, I don't know.
I'm just thinking, do they, they're on the ship there and they're waiting for your life.
Yeah,
to experience your life. How do they experience that? Because that would be a long time for them, wouldn't it? Or does time work differently then?
Time seems to be different. Like I said, there isn't a sense, like they're aware there's a three-dimensional space, but they're not necessarily locked into Earth time, and they're not aging or anything like that. So, but because they live for 10,000 years or more, a 70-year lifetime on Earth is not a problem. So, it's something to do, basically.
Yeah, but would it flow similar to the speed it does down here?
Yeah. Yeah.
But because of how long they live and they've been doing
it's
this
not problematic,
for a while,
but yeah.
It's not.
But there's something, well, they just showed me something. Okay, so as far as Earth time is concerned, they're in the asteroid belt's time zone. Does that make sense?
So in our galaxy there's an asteroid belt. Is that part of the Milky Way?
No, so between Mars and Jupiter there was a planet that exploded.
Okay.
Creating an asteroid belt, and my ship's in that asteroid belt to conceal it.
Yeah. And does it have any technology to also conceal itself?
There's no cloaking device as such, no.
So they're relying on that asteroid belt?
Yeah, but the ship itself can be made to look like an asteroid.
Can it change shape or colour?
You can change colours, and you can...
Can it change size?
Not really.
But the shape a little bit?
You can change the shape to kind of adapt to make it look asteroidish.
Mm. Okay. So how many of them are on the ship, including you?
8.
And what's some of the things, they're monitoring what's going on down here. What's some of the things they communicate to you? Or
it's more like me communicating to them, so I'm not aware of them downloading anything to me.
So you're helping them in some way as well as helping yourself?
It could be that they want to come here soon. I take on an earthly life. And they're wanting to get a sense of what it's like to have a human form. Oxygen, fall in love, have sex, eat food.
The things that they just don't do.
Yeah, this concept of being on a planet where it's dog eat dog kind of thing.
And so far, so let's connect into them right now. What's their opinion of your experience so far?
Well, there's intrigue, there's marvel, and then there's also some question marks. Why would you do that? And just there's that sort of primitive compared to what our technology is.
But do they understand that, I guess because of the variety of conditions here,
yeah,
you can reach a high level of spiritual understanding and development compared to maybe their existence?
There is that, and there's also an evolutionary principle, like there's a growth. It's like when they've been here before, visiting Earth, there's been a progress since. So they're seeing Earth as an organism that is, Earth isn't. The Earth itself is an organism, is what they're saying. And it's growing in its own consciousness and expanding, which to us is like a very foreign concept.
To humans?
For these beings that I am, could identify them as me being that, because we just arrive on our planet, we take on the physical form, we're the same size, we learn how to move, but then we fully formed and everything's there. But there would have been a time that we had to evolve into that, and this is kind of what Earth is. Not that we can become that on Earth, but Earth is evolving to that point where there will come a time where we don't need to kill to eat.
Yeah.
And that we can assimilate things from our environment, that we can travel across space.
And they find that intriguing?
Yeah. This is like the origin of our species came from this kind of concept. So it's like Earth being, I don't know, 1 billion years behind where we are. But we haven't come from that, so it's interesting for them to see what the origin of our species was. Sorry.
That's right.
Our species being this whatever thing it is, not human.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's an intrigue, and then they're relaying all that back to telepathically thought. Because it tells me thought travels instantly across the universe. It doesn't travel like light does. It's got to travel over time. It travels instantly.
Are they also familiar with the, you could say, the astrological age and the shift in consciousness going on?
Yes. Yeah.
Have they got any thoughts on that process, or where we're up to with it?
Okay, so they're impressed with where we're up to with it. But there's a what's the word? They've come as observers, right? And that's what they're trying to maintain.
Non-interference.
Yeah. But there are times where they feel that they need to just not slap us around a little bit, but just to nudge us in the right direction.
How do they do that?
They haven't done it yet. They're just contemplating it.
And
so they're not sure how to, whether they should, whether it's their place to do it. But recognising that Earth itself is an important, for whatever reason, an important place of learning or understanding or something.
And unique as well?
Yeah.
What's an example of something they've noticed that they might want to nudge us on or change?
Something to do with energy. Like I say, nuclear power is not necessary at all. There's plenty of power in everything, in the universe, in the planet, that can power everything we ever want to have powered.
So the use of nuclear technology,
they're frowned upon. They kind of go, well, why would you need to split an atom to generate power when you've got dark matter?
Other options, yeah.
There's some dark, yeah, so not. They're not against fossil fuels. I understand that's something that our planet does, and we'll grow through that.
Is that the thing that they are thinking about, interacting with us about? Or
There's some of that.
Is there other things? Are there many things, or just a small?
Just really that small thing. So as far as social structures and racism and sexism, all that kind of stuff, they understand that's part of the learning process. Or trying to understand that. Okay, that's partially why perhaps I'm here and there's others around. Because while we have these different family things, there's not a I'm better than you or stronger than you or whatever. There's respect for the people who are making our species, respect for those who fly the species, respect for those who make the spaceships that we're flying. Yeah.
Okay. Do they have any messages, important messages for you just now?
Just saying we're here. Just remember we're here.
Is it important to you to know where you come from?
No, like just give me that understanding, like, okay, I'm visiting Earth for some reason, in human form. That'd be why I don't identify with the Earth. Or this solar system.
Why did you choose this lifetime?
So some of it's to raise my consciousness. There's also something about choosing this time on Earth. Yeah, which is it's unique, but they're also saying it's kind of why you're here at this time as well, and why Heather's here at this time as well, is to there's something we need to observe and something we need to do during this time to make this transition from one awakening to the next.
And this thing that we observe, will all three of us and others also observe the same thing?
Yeah.
What is that?
Just like a shift of it's not an awakening of consciousness in the planet, because it's talking about another level of awakening.
So it's separate to that.
So going from one level of awakening where we are now to another awakening. This is really soon. This is like in the next couple of years. And they need people like us to observe that and see the shift, but also to help others who are not understanding what's going on. As you break away from the old control systems.
What will be the cause of the awakening?
It's already happening. So the change in tolerance to the control, or being controlled.
What is the actual event or catalyst that's coming up which causes this major shift?
The way they're showing it to me is just that humans wake up. They stop accepting nonsense. So I'm not seeing an asteroid hitting the Earth, or a nuclear explosion. There could be an eruption or a volcano thing, earthquake stuff. It's like humans are tired of being enslaved by each other. Okay, so there's like and that's the awakening, that we've lived in a system that's been enslaved by the Romans and by the church and by certain powerful people. And that shift is reaching the end of its time.
So, what is, if it's a physical earth change like that, is there a link between people's state of being around not being enslaved that creates that physical change in the earth?
I'm not seeing like a big change on Earth itself. It's like it just becomes a happier place for everybody. And there's like we're not going back to those systems. Okay, because there are things at play that are trying to bring people back down, but they don't work this time.
So would you say there's a certain percentage of people that get to a certain level of awakening and that there's like a trigger for a shift?
Yeah, and what they show me is that's already very close, that tipping point. And there's also, we don't know where this is going to go, but we know where we've been and we don't want to stay there. So it's like we don't care where we go next as long as we move away from where we've been.
So there's a certain level of the unknown or predictability about
where
we're
but
heading when it happens.
Not trepidation about moving forward. So there's not a fear moving forward.
Yeah.
There's not that, oh, you're going to burn in hell if you don't comply. There's this, I don't care if I burn in hell, but I'm not complying.
Yeah.
So there's that.
So I'm just still trying to figure out how the earth change aspect, even if it's minor, like a major volcano, how does that fit into this?
The feeling I'm getting is as looking out for each other, which is where these beings have the same thing. There's this. So let's say there's a volcano there's an earthquake in Japan. Everyone just leaves Japan to deal with it. There's not that sense of looking out for your neighbour.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, and I think that's part of the shift of, hang on, we occupy the same biosphere, the same planet, the same. So what affects this part of the planet actually affects everybody. If it's a volcano that goes off, it could affect everything. My suspicion it would be, at a guess, somewhere like Iceland or Europe, where it'll affect transport, shipping, airlines, for a period of time, and they will be dependent on New Zealand and Australia and Africa, South America even, to look after our friends. Okay, not to rebuild the civilization, it's not going to be that catastrophic, but it's kind of, it stops the we're better than you because we speak French or English or something, but still maintaining uniqueness. So still, it's not like a one world economy, one world currency thing. We still, I'm a Kiwi, I'm an Aussie, I'm with this.
And what's deciding, what's behind that, that physical earth event? What's the driving force or decision maker behind that happening? Who decides that to happen?
It may not even happen, right? But consciously in Earth there's this is partially why you're here as well, is like to help people bridge this gap we're being used to being enslaved and just obeying blindly, to it's okay to question things and to do things that are right for me, not in a selfish way, but acknowledging my own. There's a vaccine out, so you decide I'm going to have this vaccine or I'm not going to have it. But if it doesn't feel right for me to have it, I'm entitled to say no. And there's no issue with that. So it's more taking responsibility, personal responsibility for yourself, but also for other people around you. It's kind of, there's so many factors what they've shown me. So they showed me the things with all this COVID nonsense, the climate change stuff, that there's what's important and what's not, what is a control thing and what is actually real climate change or climate concern. So separating the nonsense.
So would you say in conclusion, within a few years, there'll be that tipping point and people are going to be much more clear around what's nonsense?
Much clear, and also there's no need to restrict anything. Like, if aliens have been visiting our planet for God knows how long, which they have been, it's okay to let that be known. There's no need to, the people can't handle it. So that it removes that arrogance. So and it looks from what they're showing me, it's very soon. It's not even 2030. It's before that. That we move into that thing, but obviously there's going to be some adjustments that need to be made. But people who are in the flow or in a receptive state of mind will be able to feel the changes and grow with it, and then helping the others ones around us who are having some challenges adapting to adapt in their own time, not under force. There's no gun against their head thing. They'll find a way to sort my health out, so just to keep doing what I've been doing, and it looks like it'll resolve, so not to worry about that.
Well, we'll check in with higher self soon as well.
Yeah.
But that's good to know. So they're working with you to look after your health.
Yeah, they seem to, now that it's almost like they're showing me that, this is part of that's why we can't visit the Earth, because this is what happens to us. And that the oxygen will destroy their skin.
So in a way, some of your conditions relate to you being
that's what seems to be, that's what they seem to be suggesting to me. So they'll just download an update for the body and sort it out. I don't know what they're going to do, but
that sounds good.
But they seem to be on it now, so they're saying it'll work out.
So does it help them do that because you know about them now and you've got a strong connection to them because of the session today?
Yeah.
One final question from me. What's the difference between them and a spirit guide in terms of how you're being assisted in this life?
Okay, so my spirit guides, some of my spirit guides have never incarnated on Earth. They observe and they watch and they just give that guidance from remember your purity and your divine light, that type of thing. With Martin and John, who have incarnated before, they come in with it's great to all have this God divine spark within you, but you also got to live on the earth. You actually do need to earn a living. You do need to have a shave, that type of thing. So they bore that practical, pragmatic thing. These beings are they're living a life and an awareness on a different dimension or space. So it's more a comparison It's not about live your life better or worse. It's kind of going, hey, we do it this way here. So you guys have sex and you make love and you have children and they grow up and they go to school. Whereas where my people are from, that's done in a laboratory and you enter that physical form fully formed. So it's not so much a superior awareness, it's more of a we've been around longer in an advanced state than we have. But also saying or suggesting that you enjoy Earth's fluctuations because they don't have that. They don't have anger and love and desire and stuff like that. They just have curiosity. So they're saying, yeah, enjoy the swings and the roller coaster ride. So, yeah.